Deacon John Wilson here, Education Enrichment Director for West Angeles Church, here to speak to my probably 8th to 11th grade parents about something that's happening, more so my 8th, ninth, 10th, something that's happening in Sacramento now that will, I think, make it more difficult for our students to decide, say, in 11th or 12th grade, that they want to do a career, a high-paying career in science, technology, engineering, or math. Let me digress by saying there's so many majors that are science majors where you need calculus in college. And if you haven't taken the right math in high school, your chances are very low to actually do it because you won't get the support at the university like that if you get in to do those kind of things. We need to prepare our students in high school. This is why things like 8th grade algebra are important to me because it can get you to take pre-calculus, at least in high school, to have a chance to get some kind of STEM degree. So math is very important. And there are a lot of progressive people that feel that Black and brown students need a break and they need to be able to get to college some kind of way, that they can't handle doing Algebra 2. And so they want to give them watered down, non-advanced algebra courses. And the danger of this, it looks like right now, there are people who want to force the UC and the CSU to accept students who've not taken Algebra 2. Now, I'll digress for a moment and say to you that students need Algebra 2 in general. Why? Because it keeps their options open. If they take Algebra 2 in 11th grade, if they decide in 12th they see something and they want to, like most of my students, and they want to get into STEM, they have a chance. Maybe in the summer they can take pre-calculus. I've helped a lot of students become engineers and other science degrees that way. And if those of you want to be doctors, go in the health science field, you need calculus at some point in college. And how are you going to, what's your plan for being ready for that? If the schools are taking away Algebra 2, and there may be instruction to UC and CSU to accept students who don't have those. Now, and I don't know what UC and CSU will do, but there's legislation that's calling for that. Now, there's some people in the science community in Silicon Valley and the tech community that are deadly opposed to lowering the requirements for math in high school. Now, I'm going to show you an example in a video that I have. I won't play the whole video, but I want you to get an idea of what he's saying. Then I have some other videos I want to do to talk about things that friends of mine are doing in Sacramento right now and how you can help us to save math, to legalize teaching our Black and brown kids math, meaning in this case, advanced algebra. Take a look at this video here. All right, take a look at this video here of an interview with a good buddy of mine, Jelani Nelson, involved, who's the head of the math department at UC Berkeley. But let's take a look at this video. Here's a tech giant here. Watch this.
Right now in California, there's a push to rewrite how math works, not just in the classroom, but in the law. Two bills, AB 1217 and AB 500, are working their way through the state legislature. They would pressure UCs to accept watered-down math courses as substitutes for Algebra 2 in their admissions processes. My name is Gary Tan, and I'm the president and CEO of Y Combinator, a startup accelerator that's funded some of the most impactful tech companies of the last 2 decades, including Airbnb, Coinbase, and DoorDash. I'm also a graduate of California public schools and a strong believer in the power of rigorous technical training to lift people into abundance. And that's why I feel so strongly that these fake math courses are a betrayal of our students.
My name is Jelani Nelson, and I'm professor and chair of the Computer Science Division in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Sciences at UC Berkeley.
UC faculty already tried to stop this once. In 2023, they already reversed a decision to let these courses count for college admissions after professors warned they weren't rigorous enough.
I met with a couple teachers who actually teach the curriculum, and I sat with them and I said, hey, there's all this controversy about what the course actually covers and whether it's appropriate as an advanced math course and so forth. In your opinion, does this course assume Algebra 2 knowledge? They said, no, absolutely not. Does it teach Algebra 2 knowledge? Does it teach most of Algebra 2? No, absolutely not.
But a group of bureaucrats is determined to keep kids in these classes, and they're trying to make it illegal for universities to say no. This is a betrayal of California's children, who are being denied the rigorous math education they deserve by ideologues determined to sacrifice excellence for the illusion of equity.
I had no idea what math frameworks even were, never heard of it. I'm not an education researcher, but I am someone who I think cares deeply about K-12 education. So I started searching around, what are these high school data science courses, and finding the materials and looking through them myself. And it was fairly obvious once I started looking at the materials that no, these courses, they don't align with standards for college and career readiness. You look at the course materials, it says the only prerequisite is Algebra 1, which is again a 9th grade course. Doesn't say anything about needing Algebra 2. You just do a Control-F text search through the course materials for the word logarithm, and the word never appears in the entire year's worth of course materials.
To understand how we got here, we have to go back a decade to a failed experiment in San Francisco. In 2014, San Francisco Unified School District actually removed Algebra 1 from 8th grade from all public schools at 8th grade in the name of equity. Reformers claimed that too many students were failing early math, especially low-income Black and Latino kids, so they delayed algebra to 9th grade for everyone. The goal was to close gaps. That's what they said anyway. But instead, achievement gap.
But obviously, when you close those gaps, Black students who can actually do the work don't get it till 9th grade, and therefore they get 1 year less. And what other students do is they go out and they buy online courses and do things that our students can't do, that they're aware of. They bring in, teachers to teach students in pods, and they get ahead of our students that way, all because they tried to make everybody the same. And that's one of the problems I have with equity, being involved in math for sure. Let's continue.
Gaps remained, and acceleration, the people who really wanted to take advanced math early, that went underground. Students with means simply found workarounds, either by enrolling in compression courses that packed 2 years of math into one, or opting out entirely to private schools. Students without means, like me when I was a kid, I would have just fallen behind. And that's what happened in San Francisco. In fact, a comprehensive 10-year study of the policy found that it drove huge drops in enrollment in AP courses across the board, while, quote-unquote, large ethno-racial gaps in advanced math course taking remained. Thankfully, this crazy policy was finally reversed last year. But rather than learn from that failure, California has doubled down. In 2021, Stanford professor Joe Bowler, who contributed to designing the SFUSD algebra delay policy, and her collaborators took San Francisco's model and wrote it into the first draft of the California Math Framework, a document issued every 7 years by the state's Board of Education to provide guidance for math education to public school teachers statewide. The new CMF, as it was called, which was officially published in 2023, discourages acceleration, promotes teaching around big ideas rather than specific proficiency standards, and encourages some students to take an alternative to Algebra 2, a watered-down data science class. This didn't go unnoticed. People who understood the stakes and the math spoke up.
There were a lot of open letters. I co-authored one of them at the end of 2021, talking about the problems with this anti-acceleration approach, but also talking about the problems with these data science courses and the fact that these courses that were being created did not align with standards and also provided poor preparation for kids who wanted to follow majors and careers that were mathematical, including STEM, but also, say, quantitative social sciences.
In other words,
so if a student wants to major in psychology, get a BS degree, they have to take calculus. If they decide in 11th and 10th, 12th grade, they want to go into psychology, you set that student back because they've not taken the right math to do that in college. But here they are going to college because they might have high grades elsewise. I hope you see the problem with telling colleges what their requirements will be. And that's what these two bills are going to do. Let's do a little more, and then I'll call it quits on this.
These people were trying to pass off courses lacking even the most fundamental concepts from Algebra 2 as somehow equivalent. It was absurd. But a staff office at the UC office of the president mistakenly accepted these data science courses as a valid substitute. To this day, the state's largest public school district, LA Unified, offers one of these logarithm-free Introduction to Data Science courses as an alternative to Algebra 2.
A lot of UC faculty didn't even realize that these courses were being approved erroneously. And then we realized it when we looked at the framework, because the framework cited that. It was like, oh, this is happening locally at the UC?
As faculty across the UC and Cal State system began to notice that these dumbed-down math courses had been erroneously approved, they began to speak out. Cal State faculty members passed a resolution expressing concern over the acceptance of these data science courses, which they found provided inadequate preparation for college and career readiness. Eventually, a UC faculty committee called BOARS realized the error, and in July of 2023 announced that they would no longer accept the data science classes as valid substitutes for Algebra 2.
The UC basically, put its foot down and said, look, yes, there was an error that was made here before by the staff office, but we've now discovered it, and we're now seeing that the math framework is deviating from its charge. It's promoting these courses that don't align with the standards that they're supposed to uphold. The UC actually has not said that data science courses can't be approved. They said these courses should not have been approved, and made it very clear that data science courses could be approved if they actually align with the standards that the state itself has adopted.
Not only are these courses not up to standard, there's an even deeper level of corruption going on too.
One of the authors of the math framework releases her own high school data science curriculum, while the math framework that's being written is pushing for kids to take a third-year data science course as an alternative pathway. And also, if you look at Chapter 5, the data science chapter in the initial draft, it highlights this new UCube data science course by name, basically advertising it to the public. It also highlights the UCLA course by name, highlighting it to the public. And the creator of the UCLA course is on the advisory board of the UCube data science course.
So I think you can see that there's great concern that our UCs and CSUs are going to lower the requirements for right through here, and they get these two bills passed, it'll be a problem. Anybody seeing this living in California, talk to your representative. I've done this. Remember, it's AB 1417 and AB 500 that will move in the direction of not requiring advanced algebra from our high school students. And this could cause, or will cause, in turn, career problems for our students when they want to take more lucrative careers. And some counselor has given them data science. I've seen it already happening, giving them data science or business math or something else to replace Algebra 2. And you cannot replace an advanced algebra course in that manner. All right. God bless you. I hope that was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you want to hear more videos like this. And I'll see you next time.